Hi, this is Dan here. I hope you're doing well today. In this lesson, I'm going to show you something I've been practicing this week that are really helping my playing, and that's the outro section to Teen Town. Now that's obviously a Jaco Pastorius Weather Report song. It's a very famous bass melody, you know, the sort of main melody that you probably already know. But this is the end section, and I've got this backing track that you can download. And I just want to go through the chords and show you a few things that you can do. So it's really interesting chord progression. Every single one of those chords is the same quality. It's E13. Now E13 is basically just an E dominant 7th chord, and that 13th is the 6th. We're sort of probably going to ignore that a little bit. Let's just call it E7, okay? So that's what it is, dominant chord. Here's how I'm playing that if you want to, by the way. We've got a root on the 12th fret of the E string. A flat 7 played with the 2nd finger, that's the D, on the D string. You can play little finger or 3rd finger on this note here. This is the G sharp. That's just the 3rd up the octave, it's a 10th, okay? I don't know if you heard in the intro, I did a little double stop. A double stop is where you play 2 notes at the same time. And if you know the chord structure like this, you can just play these top 2. And do a double stop, okay? And obviously this helps with other songs that you're playing as well. So watch this, we've got an E7, 1st, 2nd, I'm using little finger. And the same chord moves down a minor 3rd. I'll explain that a little bit more later. Then it does the same movement of a minor 3rd, but this time from A to F sharp. It's both easy and difficult, this, because it does the same thing, but you're required to play a few different positions, okay? And this is, you know, this is why it's a great song. It sounds really interesting, the chord progression. When you move something a minor 3rd, and then it moves a major 3rd. Let me just show you that. So that's a dominant 7th chord moving a minor 3rd, and then it moves a major 3rd down. And then does a minor 3rd. So it's the same chord progression twice, okay, separated by a major 3rd. And I'm talking about major 3rds, minor 3rds, all this. These are intervals. And when you're playing something, well, anything on bass, bass lines are made up of intervals. And chord progressions like this that don't fit to like a one key, those chord progressions, you know, you're sort of like your simple stuff. It usually sort of sticks to one key and one position, and that's wonderful. But this, I think, is great for you because it forces your ear into different locations as well as your fingers. Let's start relatively simple. Let's do a simple exercise. So let's just do on the E string, the 12th fret of the E. This is just an E7 arpeggio. Let me play it slowly. So. Root, major 3rd, 5th. There's that flat 7th against the major 3rd. You get that really cool bluesy, soulful sound. Jaco was very inspired by that. Okay, travel 3 frets down, that's a minor 3rd. And now from there, 1, 2, 3, 4 frets down, that's a major 3rd. And then from there, minor 3rd. That's the chord progression. You can make up bass lines based around that movement. So for example, so there I'm just going root, 5th, flat 7, all those notes from within the arpeggio, and a little chromatic movement up to the octave. That's a really common funk soul sort of move there. Down 3 frets, same thing. Now down 4 frets to the A. To get your fingers and your head around this a little bit, you could start off doing something simple and pretty predictable like that. Now there's that 6th. So we got the arpeggio. Know where you are at all times. You know, this is a flat 7th. You don't necessarily need to know the name of the note. It's a D, and it does help to know it. But just know the interval, okay? Because it's the same everywhere you go. 1 fret lower than that is this major 6th, or the 13th that's in the chord, okay? So you can make up bass lines using that. You know, really cool sounds there. Another thing, you could do loads of things here. All that is the chromatic movement from the 9th to the 10th, which is just the 2nd, major 2nd to a major 3rd. So it's, in this case, E 12th fret. Then you just go 11, 12, 13 on the G string. We found that note earlier, you know, within that double stop. So you could go. No backing track, no metronome, just exploring what we can do here. It's a really interesting sound, isn't it? What if you want to move away from something that's extremely prescriptive and like you're doing an exercise? Let's move into the realms of sort of creativity here. Before we do that, I need to explain ascending and descending intervals. Okay, so far I've spoken about go down 3 frets, that's a minor 3rd, this kind of thing. But watch this. So let's start here. So here's an E, 7th fret, E string. So yeah, you can go 3 frets down, and that's a minor 3rd to get to the next chord, right? Which is your C sharp. Now that's a descending interval. That's a descending minor 3rd. That just means that we're on a note and we go down. That's what descending means. But every descending interval has an ascending interval as well. Look, so here's the E, and that's the C sharp. Put that up the octave, you know, 2 frets across, 2 strings down. You get a major 6th. And this is really interesting here. There's a trick to finding the ascending and descending versions of the interval quickly. 2 tricks. One is just to find the note and just go up an octave. Because as bass players, we have that pattern hopefully under our fingers at all times. That's one trick. The other one is this. The ascending and descending intervals, this is a bit confusing, but stay with me. They both must add up to 9, okay? So this is a 3rd, so this is a 6th, right? 6 and 3 is 9. And what you do is you reverse the quality. Quality means major or minor, okay? So this is a descending minor 3rd. That is an ascending major 6th, okay? So you just add whatever you need to get to 9. So 3, that's a 6, and you flip the quality. This is minor, so you go major. It's a really cool, interesting thing that happens. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because, and you can apply this to different songs. Okay, so if you're going, yeah, sure, you can go 3 frets down, but that's gonna sort of bore you a bit. What about doing the 6th up instead of the minor 3rd down? Okay, so that's an E. Okay, the 6th is either, this is this whole cold, hard and fast patterns on bass that you really need to learn. A major 6th, well, you can play a major scale until you hit 6. That's a major 6th, okay? It's 1 fret lower than the flat 7. You know, you just got to know where it is, okay? And if you do, then you can kind of target it as well as that 1 3 frets down. That one there also works. So. Okay, so there's another place to find a 6th. There's always like at least 2 ways of finding the same note on a bass. There's a major 6th there. If you're skipping over a string, if you're not, it's there. Okay, so I really urge you to learn your interval patterns really well. So now, I can go here to the next chord. I can go there, that's that same note down the octave. I can go there. I've now got like 1, 2, 3, 4 places I can go instead of just like one option. That's what it's all about, really. If you want to get creative, especially with kind of jazz fusion-y tunes like this, you really need to know you need to be able to navigate your way around the fretboard really well. And that comes down to, you know, patterns. That's your E7 shape, okay? That's your C sharp 7, but what about, I need to be able to go up like that. You know, so that's that same pattern we did before. But I also need to go down from there confidently as well. It's just the same as going, but from there, okay? So it is the same pattern. So now I can go, okay, now if I end up here, for example, what is that? That's a 5th, okay, from the root, which is C sharp. The next place I need to go is an A, right there. And then I'm doing the same pattern. I suppose that's the other thing you could do, is just learn the chord progression so well that you know it goes from E to C sharp, A to F sharp, and you know where those notes are. It takes so much effort just to keep having to think about that. I find that when I'm doing it, and I've practiced this for a while, yeah, there's my E, and there's that major 6th, or actually it's a minor 3rd down. That's a descending interval there, so there's your descending minor 3rd, okay? And again, patterns. And there's the ascending version of it. I just know the patterns so well that I can get there without having to think, what is the next chord? You just go to the... Okay, and there. I'm on F sharp. And then, again, the same arpeggios. I just slid to the 3rd there. Let me show you this. In the beginning, in the intro, I was doing something where I just stayed here, didn't move anywhere else. So here we go, here's an E. You can use lots of soul patterns. That's just an E major pentatonic scale with a F sharp, G, G sharp. There's a little sort of chromatic movement from the 2nd, the F sharp, to the G sharp. A really common thing, this. You know, so. Do it on the C sharp, F sharp. There's the C sharp. Now actually the E to the C sharp and the A to the F sharp 7, dominant 7ths all the way, it's the same movement, okay? So once you click with that, you can play everything down here. A little chromatic movement up to the C sharp. Then I'll do the same thing. It's that pattern I started with, but in reverse. Always know how to play the notes of an arpeggio that way and that way, so that wherever you are on the bass, you have an option to go up or down, you know? So you kind of can work on fragments of the arpeggio. Why I think this is a good thing to practice is because it's a little unusual, okay? And this is very much a jazz thing of playing over changes that don't stick to one key. You know, we're moving every single time. And it's a real head twister. It's like it's like a tongue twister, but for musicians, okay? And it really forces you into different ways of thinking, different ways of playing patterns. But if you listen to any good musician and you think, how can they be doing this so easily? It's just sitting down, okay? And it's just exploring what it is you need to explore. In this case, dominant 7th chords moving a minor 3rd, then it goes a major third, and then a minor third, and then you explore the ascending versions of those intervals, okay? And you just need to sit down and figure it out a little bit. And then I promise you, after a while, things make a lot more sense. Then you can use the backing track, work it up to speed. It's 128 beats per minute. If you need to just have a metronome going at much, much slower tempo, do that. So I'll leave you with just a few little improvisations I'll do now, and I'll stop and explain them. And I'll keep it really simple. So look, there's an E, a really simple soul pattern of a root, a 5 and a 6. There's the E, the B and the C sharp, okay? And then I am thinking, oh, I know where I'm going. There's the C sharp there. I know it's that descending flat third interval, which is 3 frets down that way, but also that way as well. So always know your intervals in at least 2 different places. There's a little chromatic movement that always sounds good, leads the listener into the next chord. There, just root to 5th, really simple. Ghost notes, don't forget your technique, 16th notes we're adding in here as well. And I know that from there, you remember I said, so we've got the 2 chord progressions going down a flat third, minor third, and then it goes down a major third. So here, there's my C sharp. It's 4 frets that way, but it's also that interval as well. So I just know I'm going there. Root, 5th, octave, couldn't be simpler. And there it is, look. There's that major 6th ascending. Or I can go. In fact, that's what I was doing, sticking to this side of the bass, so. When I'm practicing, I'm doing stuff like this. No backing track, just making the mistakes, exploring the positions that I have to go to, and just doing it slowly, really, really slowly, as slow as my brain needs it to be, to sort of, for the information to go in there. And then what happens is, you've got your sense of rhythm, you've got your techniques, hammer-ons, things like that. Try and make it really musical, keep the grooves very simple. One good thing to do is to keep the rhythms the same, like this. Yeah, I'm doing that rhythm, keeping things simple, and just build up ideas. And the idea is behind this is to remove the thinking that goes on. It takes a lot of practice, but you've got this intellectual information, and then you learn the shapes, you learn the patterns, the ascending, the descending intervals, and then you forget that stuff. And this happens over time, but at least hopefully this will give you a few ideas to work on. Don't forget to download the backing track. This is something I've been practicing like a few days now. I think I can feel my playing getting better. I can feel my brain getting a bit sharper by doing this. So I hope that helps you. If you do have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.